Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to start the next couple of weeks talking about fungus and plant notes. This is a new section of notes for you. We're going to be covering slides 1 through 8, all about fungus. Who is that fungus among us? We're going to talk about the characteristics of fungus, fungi food, making more fungi, the fungus life cycle, 4 types of fungus, and lichens. So let's talk about the characteristics of fungi. First of all, this is a kingdom of fungi. These are eukaryotic. That means they have a nucleus. There are some that are single-celled, and most are multicellular. They have rigid cell walls, so they can stand tall, similar to plants, but they do not have chlorophyll, so they don't have chloroplasts. Come in a variety of shapes and sizes, and even colors. Fungus food. Fungi can't move, they can't travel, so they must live on or near their food supply. All are heterotrophs. They get food from others. Consumers, we talked about this in the last section, get food from secreting digestive juices onto a food source, then absorbing in the dissolved food. So, and then they're decomposers. They feed on dead plant or animal matter. Others are parasites. So they have consumers, decomposers, and parasites. But these guys will actually give off these little digestive juices that will help break down the food or break down the food source so they can digest it. Making more fungi. Asexual reproduction process. 2 asexual processes. The hyphae, which is a part of the fungus, are going to break apart, and each new piece is a new fungus. And it produces spores. Spores, as you see there, are small reproductive cells protected by a thick wall. And spores are similar to seeds of plants, but they're not seeds, they're spores. Some advantages of spores are that they're light and easily spread by the wind, and they land and grow into a new fungus. Then there's the sexual reproduction process. Step 1. Special structures form to make sex cells. Step 2. Then sex cells join to produce sexual spores that grow a new fungus. So let's talk about the life cycle. So on the top of the life cycle, you have spores. Once the spores know that they're in a environment that there could be a food source and have enough nutrients, they start to germinate. Those are called germinants. Then mycelia. Mycelia would be similar to root structure. Starts to spread out. And then you have mushroom primordia, starting to have like the little mini mushrooms start to grow. And then once it finds a really good source, it becomes a fruiting body. And then underneath the mushroom cap in this example, that's where all the spores are going to be. If you ever looked at a mushroom before, all the brown or black pieces underneath the mushroom cap, those are all spores. And they'll drop right next to it, get carried away by wind or water, and then they can regrow. That's why you see a group of mushrooms growing in one spot. So fungi have 4 types. So this is a fungi that most people are familiar with. Mold, fuzzy fungus that shows up on food, bread. But there's thread-like fungus that can live in soil, and they're decomposers. Then imperfect fungi, these are misfits. They just don't fit in any of the other groups. Most are parasites that can cause disease. Athlete's feet. If between your toes start to itch a lot, you become red and inflamed, that would be a case of imperfect fungi. If you ever get athlete's feet, a nice little trick is to put some newspaper, balled up newspaper in your shoe to absorb the water out of your cleats or your sneakers. Some are good though. Penicillin is where we get our antibiotic penicillin from. So others are used to make cheeses, soy sauce, or even citric acid in soda. Then you have sac fungi. It's the largest group of fungi. Yeast, mildews, truffles. Some are even used for humans. Yeast for bread. Others are antibiotics and vitamins. Some are parasites, which can be sad. It can really make you sick. And then you have club fungi. They look like umbrellas. They reproduce sexually, and they'll have like gills underneath. Those are like mushrooms. All right, so those are our four types of fungi. Then we have a unique type of fungus called lichens, and they're special. Lichens are a combination of a fungus and an alga, or an algae protist, that grow together. It's a plant-like protist. You have a mutualistic relationship. Both organisms benefit from living together. It's otherwise called the word symbiosis. There you have the fungi and the green of the lichen that will be able to work together. Producers make energy from the sun. You're actually going to make food from the sun, and found in most every land environment. Can grow on rocks, absorb nutrients from the air. Good air equals lots of lichens. All right, so that's everything we see about our fungus that we're going to cover. All right, talk to you guys later.